Mrs. Hilton?
Hello, all of you. Thank you for hearing me. I do have something that I'd like to read to you all, and then I would just like to make a couple of comments relating to things that I've heard here today that I didn't write about. Dear committee members, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Barbara Hilton. I live in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I am the New Hampshire Seacoast Regional Coordinator for Code Pink, Women for Peace. It is with profound distress that I am here today beseeching you to do the right thing for the citizens of this great state of New Hampshire and what we want to continue to be the great country of the United States of America. I moved to New Hampshire over 30 years ago, and I have never regretted it for a moment. I have, however, over the past 8 years, learned a lot of things about what is happening to our country that trouble me beyond measure and cause me deep regret. I am absolutely stunned day after day by what is happening in our nation's capital. I'm absolutely stunned day after day by the actions that are being carried out around the world in my name and with my tax dollars. I began working as a citizen activist just about 1 year ago after educating myself for several years about the history and events that have and are shaping our country and our world. I wanted to give my teenage daughters the opportunities that I had when I was their age. I wanted them to be proud of their country. I wanted them to be able to mature into a world that had promise and compassion. I naively thought that a citizen's voice would be welcomed. I naively thought that my conscience, compelling me to speak out, would be heard as the warning bell that I considered it to be. In 1 short year, I've learned a lot. I have found myself drowning in despair, overwhelmed by the wall of disregard I have encountered in my lobbying efforts in the halls of Congress. I have found myself arguing, emailing, letter writing, speaking, vigiling, educating, calling, faxing, rallying, and protesting, all to no avail. It is as if a great fog has settled on the minds of those who should know better. It is a moral and ethical disgrace that those we have put in power refuse to fulfill their oaths of office to uphold and defend the Constitution. But I have also learned that I no longer have the luxury of silence. I cannot go backward. I'm compelled to continue to speak truth to power. Today, however, I can barely speak to the despair I feel knowing what I know. I find it almost incomprehensible that given the blatant, pervasive, and admitted criminal conduct of our president and vice president, of which books have been written by constitutional scholars, and I would be happy to forward the names of those books. Elizabeth Holtzman, a former representative in the U.S. Congress, has written a book. I'm sorry, I don't have the name of it. Chairman Conyers, John Conyers, who now heads the Judiciary Committee, has written a book which details all of the impeachable offenses. And there are others. So again, I find it almost incomprehensible that given the blatant, pervasive, and admitted criminal conduct of our president and vice president, our New Hampshire state representatives in Washington, following the ill-conceived will of the U.S. congressional leadership, will not come out in support of the process of impeachment. Again, a process which many have already spoken to today that is just, the beginning of an inquiry. That is what it is. It is not a sentence or a punishment. It is not a judgment. It is merely the beginning of an inquiry. The Constitution does not say that impeachment hearings shall be instigated when politically expedient to do so. It is the duty of the United States House of Representatives to initiate impeachment proceedings when there is reason to suspect that high crimes and misdemeanors are being perpetrated. We have, as you have heard already today, ample evidence of that. For those of you who feel you don't have ample evidence, I would be happy to forward to the committee evidence that I have for that. So I sit here today with all that I have within me, hoping that what I have to say to you will not go unheeded. You have the fortune to be the few people in this country that can truly change things. You have the opportunity to go beyond partisanship to what our country and the world need and demand: accountability of our leaders. Please take that opportunity and move impeachment forward. Thank you.